Welcome to Stoic Women, where fearless hearts meet focused minds. Have you ever found yourself tangled in a web of emotional confusion, wondering what went wrong with someone who seemed so promising? One day he's blowing up your phone with sweet texts, making you feel like the only woman in the world. The next day, there's nothing but silence. You start questioning yourself. Did you say the wrong thing, show too much interest, or too little? Sound familiar? Let's be honest, some men play games. Whether it's hot and cold behavior, breadcrumbing, or constantly keeping you guessing, they can leave you feeling frustrated and drained. Here's the kicker: it's not about you. Their game playing usually comes from their own insecurities, control issues, or lack of emotional maturity. But that doesn't mean you're powerless. What if I told you there's a way to flip the script, to protect your heart, reclaim your peace, and handle these games with grace and skill? This isn't about manipulation or stooping to their level. It's about taking back your power through stoicism, confidence, and self-awareness. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 transformative ways to outsmart any man who's playing games with your heart. These aren't just tactics. They're life-changing principles designed to help you approach relationships with clarity and strength. Ready to unlock the secrets of Stoic women? Let's get started. The first and most important step is developing self-awareness. Without it, you're like a leaf in the wind, pushed around by the ups and downs of someone else's behavior. Self-awareness is your anchor, the base for all we're about to cover. Truth is, when a man plays games, it's rarely a reflection of you. Often it's tied to his own insecurities, his fear of commitment, or his need for control. The problem is, many women internalize that behavior, asking, "What did I do wrong?" Take a pause. Ask yourself, am I putting my worth in the hands of someone who can't even be honest about what he wants? Being self-aware means recognizing these patterns and understanding your triggers. Why does his silence shake you up so much? Why does his back and forth make you doubt yourself? Awareness lets you see his behavior for what it is, a reflection on him, not a judgment of you. Think of self-awareness as stepping off the chessboard. While he's busy trying to guess your next move, you're calmly observing from above, no longer a pawn, but the queen, who sees the entire board and moves with intention. Practically speaking, how do you stay self-aware in the moment? Pause before responding. If he sends a confusing text or suddenly disappears, don't rush to react. Instead, ask yourself, what does this tell me about him, and does it align with my standards? This approach also involves recognizing your own tendencies. Do you chase when someone pulls away, or do you overthink everything? Once you know these patterns, you can break free. You won't be on autopilot anymore. You'll be in control. Here's the best part. Self-awareness isn't about beating his games. It's about mastering yourself. When you truly know who you are and what you deserve, you become magnetic, a living example of Stoic love. How freeing would it be to stop doubting yourself and wake up each day secure in your own emotional foundation? That's what self-awareness brings. Ready to go deeper? Let's move on. Let's get real. How often have you put your own joy and peace of mind on the back burner just to accommodate someone else's inconsistent behavior? Maybe you bend over backwards, analyzing every small detail, all to keep the relationship afloat. But here's the truth. The second you start valuing his demands or games more than your own mental health, you're losing. Your well-being is non-negotiable. It's the bedrock of everything else in your life. If a man's behavior is making you anxious, confused, or constantly questioning your worth, it's a clear sign you've let him have too much influence over your emotions. But here's the empowering flip side. You have the right and the ability to take that power back. Start by asking, what am I letting into my life, and how does it make me feel? If the answer is negative, it's time for a reset. Putting your well-being first means placing yourself at the top of your own list, not selfishly, but in a way that honors your emotional and mental health. Instead of waiting around for him to text or show up, shift that energy into something that genuinely excites you. Go to the gym, pick up a new hobby, or spend time with uplifting friends. When you redirect your focus inward, you stop chasing him and start attracting better experiences and people into your life. A guy who's playing games relies on your constant attention. If you're not giving it any more, he's left with no audience. That's when the power dynamic flips. Here's the beauty of it. When you prioritize yourself, it's not just that he notices, it's that you notice. You'll feel more energetic, confident, and, yes, irresistible. Let's keep it simple. If you're tired of half-hearted efforts and confusion, choose you. If this resonates, drop a 1 in the comments below. Also, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more insights on owning your worth. Now, on to the next act, which will change how you handle his emotional tactics. One of the most powerful ways to outsmart a man's emotional games is learning to recognize his behavior patterns. As unpredictable as some men may seem, human actions tend to repeat in noticeable cycles. Once you can pinpoint these cycles, you gain the ability to foresee his moves and guard your heart from unnecessary pain, like reading a chessboard in advance, which sets you a step above. Let's break it down. Have you encountered a man who's constantly shifting from being super attentive to going radio silent? Or who sends mixed signals, leaving you second-guessing where you stand? That's classic hot and cold behavior, a method to keep you hooked by making you wonder which version of him you'll get next. But guess what? It's often about control. If he keeps you guessing, you'll spend all your energy trying to figure him out. Here's the silver lining. Once you see the pattern, it no longer controls you. Take a moment. Has this happened before? Did you overlook red flags because you wanted to believe in his potential? Recognizing patterns is not just about analyzing him. It's also about spotting how you've responded in past relationships and choosing to respond differently now. Breadcrumbing is another red flag. He gives just enough attention to keep you holding on, but never actually follows through. This leaves you stuck in a mental game of maybe this time, all for breadcrumbs that'll never become the full meal you deserve. So how do you break it? Detach and observe. If he's repeating the same old actions, ghosting then returning with empty promises, remind yourself that the problem is him, not you. Don't personalize it. Instead of reacting, step back, watch, and let his choices reveal his true intentions. If you do, you're no longer an active piece on his chessboard. You're the observer who sees every move from a position of clarity. Remember, Stoic love is about stepping out of the storm instead of being swept away by it. By detecting and naming his patterns, you can predict his next moves and protect your emotional energy. You'll no longer be stuck in confusion. You'll be empowered to decide whether this dynamic works for you. That's the essence of reclaiming your control. Picture this. You're out with a group of friends, and he casually drops a reference to his ex, praising her cooking. Or he's openly flirting with someone else just within your line of sight. It's a calculated move, whether conscious or not, to see how you'll react, to see if he can shake your composure. Here's where you truly shine. By maintaining your cool, you take the wind out of his sails. Guys who play games expect emotional flare-ups, anger, jealousy, drama. If you go off on him or throw a jealous tantrum, you're basically giving him what he wants, confirmation that he has power over your emotions. Staying calm and collected doesn't mean you ignore your feelings. It means you choose not to let them drive your actions. You respond in a measured, composed way, sending a powerful message. You don't dictate my emotional state, I do. How do you achieve this Zen-like calm? First, remember that his tactics reflect him, not you. If he's trying to spark jealousy or annoyance, that's about his control issues or insecurities, not about your worth. Second, practice reframing. See these tests as chances to prove your emotional strength. Each time you remain poised, you're training yourself to be unshakable. Think about a scenario. Maybe he starts flirting with another woman, expecting a flare-up from you. Instead of storming off or retaliating, you stay engaged in your own conversations, smiling warmly and showing zero distress. That's not an act of indifference, it's an act of power. It shows you're not playing into his drama. This approach realigns the power dynamic. Now he's the one wondering, why didn't she react? Does she not care? Did I fail to get a rise out of her? You keep your dignity, and he's left to ponder why his ploy didn't work. Best of all, staying calm isn't just a strategy to handle him. It also guards your peace. Emotional chaos can be draining, and you have better things to focus on than his attempts to rattle you. Let me ask, how often have you neglected your personal ambitions or interests because you were consumed by a man's confusing behavior? Maybe you said, I'll pursue that once we're in a better place, or I'll do that after he sorts his issues out. The problem? You end up putting your life on pause for someone else's emotional roller coaster. It's time to flip the script. A man who's playing games feeds on your distraction, your mind spinning in circles about what he's up to and how you can fix it. But what if you switched gears and put all that energy toward your own aspirations, be it a career goal, a creative project, or personal development? By focusing on your goals, you become too busy and fulfilled to get wrapped up in his ups and downs. Your energies are poured into building the future you want, not deciphering his mood swings. This isn't about ignoring him, it's about redirecting your attention to something more productive. There's also an undeniable law of attraction at work here. Nothing is more compelling than a woman who's driven, passionate, and has a sense of purpose. A man who sees that you're chasing your dreams will realize he's not the sole center of your life. And if he wants a place in it, he'll have to step up. On a practical level, next time he cancels a date last minute or gets cryptic with texts, let your response be calm acceptance, then pivot back to your own plans. Head to the gym, work on that presentation you've been putting off, or hang out with friends. Show yourself and the universe that your world doesn't revolve around his mood swings. And yes, this approach pays long-term dividends. Even if he eventually steps aside, you've lost nothing. You've still built your life, your achievements, and your passions. You're no longer filling your emotional tank with his fleeting attention. You're fueling it with your own successes and joys. If this resonates, hit the like button and drop a 1 in the comments to show you're ready to live with boundaries that command respect. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss more empowering insights like these. The journey is just getting started, and trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. Let's keep building the life and relationships you truly deserve, one strong move at a time. Imagine he's ignoring your messages after a week of being all lovey-dovey, or flirts with another woman right in front of you. to spark your jealousy. The knee-jerk reaction? Retaliate, maybe ignore him back or even flirt with someone else to get even. The problem is, retaliation just drags you into his game, proving he can still push your buttons. When you act out of revenge or tit for tat, you're essentially letting him control your behavior. Instead of staying calm and centered, you're reacting to his moves, and that means he's the one holding the reins. The more you respond with drama, the stronger his hold on you becomes. So how do you break this cycle? One word: indifference. Indifference doesn't mean you stop caring altogether. It means refusing to be manipulated by his tactics. Rather than fighting fire with fire, you simply observe his behavior and choose not to get sucked in. In practical terms, if he ghosts you for days, only to resurface with a "Hey, how's it going?" text, you don't reply with anger or frustration. You can still respond politely, but you make it clear through your tone and timing that you're no longer affected by his unpredictability. This emotional neutrality throws him off. He might have been fishing for a jealous outburst or an emotional meltdown, only to be met with calm composure. Suddenly, his game loses its power because you're not feeding it. This is Stoic love in action. By focusing on your own emotional control, you render his manipulations ineffective. Another key tactic: direct communication. Men who play games often rely on ambiguity and your fear of rocking the boat. They bank on you being too afraid or confused to call them out. But what if, instead of tiptoeing around his mixed signals, you address them straight on? Direct communication means calmly and clearly stating what you've observed and how you feel. For instance, if he's sending conflicting messages, like being super sweet one day and distant the next, you might say, "I've noticed you've been hot and cold lately, and it's confusing. I'd like to understand what's going on." That's not an attack. It's a statement of fact and a request for clarity. Doing this not only throws him off balance if he's playing games, it also sets a higher standard for how you want to interact. You show you're not interested in mind games. You're interested in open, honest dialogue. If he still refuses to be transparent or tries to shift blame back onto you, that's your cue that he's not emotionally mature enough for what you need. Remember, though, direct communication isn't about forcing confessions or ultimatums. It's about giving him, and yourself, the chance to be straightforward, bypassing the drama and guesswork. The more confidently you communicate, the more he realizes that you're on a different level, one where games simply don't stand a chance. Boundaries are like a protective fence around your emotional well-being. They define what is and isn't acceptable to you. Yet so many people hesitate to set them, fearing they'll come off as high maintenance or pushy. But here's the truth. People who care about you will respect your boundaries. Those who don't, won't. And that's exactly the clarity you need. When dealing with a game player, boundaries force him to step up or step out. For example, if he often cancels plans last minute, you could calmly say, "I value reliability. If that's not possible for you, that's okay, but it won't work for me." This signals you won't settle for endless excuses. If he crosses your line again, you follow through, maybe by no longer being available for those half-baked plans. The key is consistency. You can't just announce a boundary once and then let repeated violations slide. Every time you stand firm, you reinforce your self-respect, and you train him, or any future partner, to understand what you say. And if he's unwilling to respect that, You already know you're better off without him. Boundaries act as filters. The right people will honor them, the wrong ones will walk away or try to test them. Either outcome benefits you because you're preserving your peace and emotional energy. If this resonates, leave a 1 in the comments below and let me know you're ready to stand tall and carry yourself with pride. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights like this. Your journey to becoming the best possible version of yourself is only beginning. We have so much left to explore, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Let's keep moving forward. In a world that pushes for instant gratification, quick texting, immediate, "Where is this going?" conversations, patience is your underrated superpower. Emotional games rely on you panicking or reacting fast, feeding the drama. When you practice patience, you disrupt that cycle. Patience means giving him room to show you who he really is, rather than jumping to fix or decode every confusing action. If he goes quiet, you don't blow up his phone demanding answers. You carry on with your life and let his choices unfold naturally. This approach lets you observe him without getting sucked into emotional chaos. Think of patience as emotional discipline. Every time you resist the urge to fix things right away, you strengthen your ability to handle the unknown. Men who thrive on games are counting on you to crack under uncertainty. But with patience, you stay calm in the face of silence or mixed signals, showing you're not at his emotional beck and call. As a result, you not only remain in control of your own feelings, you also show him you're not someone who can be manipulated by half-hearted efforts. If he really cares, he'll come around. If not, your calm watchfulness ensures you won't invest more energy than he's willing to match. We wrap up with the most decisive move of all, knowing when to walk away. This is where you reclaim your ultimate power, choosing to step away from the game entirely. If despite your best efforts, he continues to be inconsistent, manipulative, or disrespectful, walking away isn't giving up, it's choosing yourself. Leaving doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be a calm, clear decision. I've given this enough energy and it's no longer good for me. When you walk away, you show him that your standards are firm. You won't stick around hoping he changes. You won't tolerate emotional turmoil as a norm. You deserve better. Walking away shakes up the entire dynamic. If he does value you deep down, this might be the wake-up call he needs. But if not, you've freed yourself to find a connection that doesn't drain you. Either way, you keep your self-respect intact. At its core, deciding to walk away is the highest form of Stoic love. It's saying, I can't control how you treat me, but I can control whether I accept it. That's emotional freedom. It's the quiet confidence that lets you sleep soundly at night, knowing you're standing by your own worth. We've explored 10 ways to outsmart any man who's playing games with your heart. These aren't just tips for dealing with a game-playing man. They're principles for living from a place of emotional strength, resilience, and self-respect. They'll guide you toward healthier, more fulfilling relationships, ones built on authenticity and respect, instead of confusion or manipulation. As you move forward, remember that it's not about winning over him. It's about choosing you. Your journey matters. Your emotional well-being comes first, and no one else can take that away unless you let them. So keep your eyes on your own growth and stay true to the kind of love you really want. If this video resonated with you, be sure to leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening. Thank you for investing in your growth, and keep in mind, changing your approach changes your relationships, and your entire world. Stay confident, stay radiant, and trust that the best is yet to come.